understanding of what? Of anything. When you first met Tito, were you skeptical?
The nature of a scientist is to be skeptical. So I was surprised, certainly surprised when I met him, to see the very compelling evidence that he was for real.
Dr. Michael Merzenich has been studying Tito for more than a year. A neuroscientist at the University of California, San Francisco, he says Tito is not only authentic, but miraculous.
There can be little question in the writing behavior of Tito that he's providing the answers and that the answers are coming from his brain.
If Tito seems a miracle of autism, this is the miracle worker, his mother Soma, who gave up a career in chemistry to devote her life to teaching her son, even though doctors in India said he would never be able to learn.
At first they told us he was mentally retarded because he looked that, because he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing what his age level a 3-year-old child should do. So he did not respond, he did not do anything.
Were you told how to teach him?
No, no, no.
What were you told?
To keep him busy. Come, run, 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 run.
And she's been keeping him busy ever since.
Find Pershing Square over here. Here. If you don't look, where is it?
As a young child, she noticed he was staring at calendars, so she started teaching him numbers and letters.
What are the factors of 6? Say the properly. Times.
When he wouldn't hold a pencil, she used a rubber band to tie one to his finger and taught him to draw lines and eventually to write.
No, why is it coming down the line?
If her method looks simple, just ask parents of other severely autistic children.
Sit.
They'll tell you that at one time or another, they too tried to get their child to type or communicate with no success. But Soma's method requires tenacity.
Write the F properly. Write it again. Write it again. No one will be able to read that.
For the past 11 years, this tireless taskmaster has spent every waking moment talking and teaching.
Hey, now look at this. Oh, look at that.
Constantly prodding.
You're not even looking.
To keep Tito stimulated.
We're going to put our names over here. How will that look?
And his mind on track.
Look at that. No, not like that.
What if you slacked off? What would happen, do you think?
No, I did not, so I don't know. I can't even imagine myself doing that, yeah.
Her determination and her assumptions about Tito may have made all the difference.
Nothing? Where?
She never doubted that he could learn.
1, 2, 3, no.
So she fed him a healthy diet of knowledge, from Shakespeare to geometry to music. Tito, without your mother pushing you, how would your life have been different?
I would have been of I would have been a vegetable.
I would have been a vegetable? So it's a good thing that she pushed.
Yes.
Yes. He said he'd be a vegetable.
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Though Tito seems to have escaped that fate through his writing, he remains severely autistic. He can't even pick up the pad and pencil to write without his mother's constant prodding and urging.
Right, 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 right.
But when Tito does write, it is with astonishing insight, especially for a boy just 14 years old. He's written hundreds of poems, including this one, which we watched him write from beginning to end.
I have fancied a little dream, and the world is left unseen. With the light of your eyes, through the darkness of the night, I have held that little dream, beyond my world, beyond all seas.
Tito is a beautiful example of the possible. Here we have a boy that, largely through the empirical interaction of this boy with his mother, a way has been found into his ability, into his spirit.
Do you think that Tito is just one in a million?
I think there could be thousands of, maybe tens of thousands of Titos out there.
Scientists will soon find out if that's true. For the past year, Soma's been testing her homegrown methods on a small group of children at the Carousel School in Los Angeles, the school attended by John and Portia's son, Dove.
Yeah, Dove.
Like Tito, these 9- and 10-year-olds are severely autistic. Few can speak, And until recently, teachers had no idea if anything was actually getting through.
Who were the Native Americans there at the time?
Now they know.
Yes.
In the space of a year, kids who were being taught on a kindergarten level are now being taught math, social studies, and science like fourth graders.
And
I had honestly never seen anything like this in my life.
Karen Spratt was their teacher. She says she was skeptical when Soma first came to the school.
Soma did everything that I was told not to do, kind of, as a teacher. So, for instance, she talked constantly.
the sun rises in the east or north. Pick up.
And that's the exact opposite of everything that you had been taught?
It is. In my training, it was that you give basic directions and wait for a response, and not to verbalize too much, because it could be distracting.
If 26 plus 2 is 38.
Instead of being distracting, Soma's rapid prompting method, as she calls it, seems to keep the children's attention focused long enough for them to communicate.
Pick up 98. Good.
She ignores their erratic movements and wandering eyes and focuses instead on the mind locked inside.
Straight line or the lines of longitude? No, it is the line of longitude. Now tell me.
Did you ever second guess your approach? Ever think, maybe this isn't right?
No, no. I'm always sure of myself, what I'm doing.
Why?
Because it works. It works.
And she offers some astonishing proof.
Tell me, what do you like best in this?
Dove Shestak was one of her first students, since it was his parents, Portia and John, whose foundation brought Soma to the United States. But they never expected this.
Math, yes? You like math. We can do some math over here to show off. Then, 20 minus 4 what? 1 and?
His parents were astonished. From a boy who 6 weeks earlier couldn't even tie his shoes, suddenly came full sentences, complex thoughts, and words spelled correctly.
It is a flower, and that's a bulb.
The best way I can put this is, it seemed like I was seeing the kid that had disappeared 7 years before. And suddenly, you know, it wasn't just the one word or gesture I was able to get. It was whole sentences and ideas.
Keep going, I know what you mean, but finish it up.
I was like a kid in a candy shop. I didn't know where to start. You know, what's your favorite color? What do you want to be when you grow up? I mean, you know, all the questions you asked a child over years. You know, every day there was whole new sets of things I was finding out.
Hey, Dove, tell me, why do you like math so much?
They learned that Dove is interested in religion and history and is a surprisingly good mathematician.
Why? It's easy.
We asked Dove how he had learned so much when no one had formally taught him.
L, I, come on, go ahead, come on.
He told us that all those years when people thought he was lost in his own world, he was actually listening to everything around him.
You learn to spell and you learn to do math.
Although Soma's method has not been studied scientifically, Mike Merzenich is one of many researchers who think it should be taken seriously.
I think it's almost certain that this method can be used with many, many autistic children. And the initial indication from these studies in Los Angeles is that it might apply even to the substantial majority of these children.
That they might be helped by this method,
Absolutely.
by someone prodding them and telling them, think, do, act.
Exactly.
Scientists can't help but wonder what other secrets Tito, Dove, and others like them still hold.
Are you happier now?
But one thing is certain. The ability to communicate has had a profound effect on Dove's life.
Yeah.
He's happier now, and you don't have to be a scientist to understand why.
S.
I can tell others my feelings. That's why you're happy.